and welcome to this flow dedicated to back pain. My name is Ligia. We're going to do a very soft flow just to get release from the back. Our spine usually suffers a lot of tension, may that be from emotional stress, physical stress, even from having a bad posture all day. Your spine can have really bad pain. So we're going to go into this flow, trying to release the pain from the back, the spine, and the lower back. We're going to only need a space to move. You can use your mat and try to keep your breath connected. Let's start by just sitting up straight, one heel in front of the other, and relaxing your hands into your knees. Close your eyes and begin to breathe. Because we're going to be moving the spine, try to align your spine over the hip bones, feeling that you have a straight line coming from the hips up to the crown of the head, elongating the spine, and avoiding any hunching through the shoulders. Tune into the breath. And do feel that with every inhale you take, there's a slight Okay, thank you. Oh shit, no, it's not working. There we go. Okay, I think now you can't see the door. Okay, so we're going to start by sitting. We're going to relax forward, just allowing the crown of the head to hang. Forearms on the mat. Let your spine flow to the front. So that you use this forward fold to stretch the back of the shoulders. Press into the palms as you inhale, rise and push the chest forward, as far forward as you can, and then exhale, forward fold again. Try to move with a wave so that you start lifting from the chin, straighten the arms, push the chest forward, and exhale, flow down with a wave as well. Once you're down, flowing, try to roll the shoulders out to the sides and to tuck in the hip bone so that you give the spine a longer feel. Press into the palms. Inhale, walk the hands towards the right side. And exhale, forward fold into the knee, bringing the forehead into the knee. Allowing this exhale to bring you closer down into your knee. Restraining the neck is not an option, so try to relax the head. And walk one over to the other side, framing the knee, crown of the head points to the opposite knee. Come back to center. And now we're going to press the entire palm on the mat. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders and relax the head there, looking into your belly button. And I'm going to do big circles with the spine as if you were inside a cylinder. So make sure you keep the arms straight and that you move only through the spine. Do not bend the elbows. So inhale, lift, and roll, exhale. Inhale, lift, and roll to the other side. As you do that, try to protract your shoulders so that you're pushing the ground away from you. And change directions. Now let that go. Reach forward with the palms and forward fold to the floor, keeping the forehead on the mat, and keep the alignment of the knees and the heels and the hips. As you press into the palms, sink the chest lower down. This is a deep back bend. Keep the exhale going and gently begin to come back. We're going to bring our right foot inside the right hand, and we're going to reach up with the right hand up and then grab the outside of the right knee and do a soft twist. Very gentle. Don't open the knee out, keep it aligned. Look down at your foot. Cup the hands underneath your shoulders and lift up into a runner's lunge. Keep the spine straight so that you lengthen through the crown, push into the heel. Keep the right leg strong. And then lower the knee down. Come back into your plank and child's pose again with the exhale. In your child's pose, just move over towards the right side, giving your spine that flow, and try to breathe into the back. So instead of directing your breath into your belly, direct it into the back of the lungs, the back of the rib cage. This will help to ease any kind of tension in the upper and mid back. And then bring the right hand under the left. And move over to the other side, the right hand over the left hand. And come back to the center. Tabletop, sliding the hands underneath the shoulders. And bring the left foot outside the right hand. Make sure that the distance between the foot and the hand is approximately shoulder width. And then with the inhale, rise the left hand up. Exhale and bring the hand outside the knee into a gentle twist. As you twist, sink the belly so that you can release air from the thoracic area and deepen into that twist. Look down at your hands and feet. Press the hands inside the foot. Come back. Child's pose. Exhale. How's everyone doing? Okay, so let's keep going into the spinal movement. We're going to give it to a soft wave. So think about drawing an infinite sign with your spine. So shift the weight forward and to the right. Shift forward so that you bring the shoulders over the wrists, a little bit more into the front, and then come to the right. Exhale, shift the weight into the left hip. Drop the heels down, the hips into the heels, and then move over to the right. So finding that infinite sign through the movement of the spine and the shifting of the weight forward and back. There's no rush in the movement. Do it gently, do it slowly, and through the breath. So you want to exhale as you come down with the hips to the heels, and you want to inhale as you shift the weight, shoulders forward over the wrists. As you do this, always keep your head hanging. Don't try to tense the neck. And we're going to change the direction. So shifting over to the right hand, moving forward in space over the wrist, shifting towards the left hand, and then coming into the right hip, and left hip, and rise. You'll find your own groove as you breathe and feel the movement. And then let's gently come into tabletop, finding stillness. Stretch the legs back. Find a plank. Tuck in the belly in your plank. Connecting the core muscles. These help the low back to stay safe and healthy. And exhale, come all the way down with the belly down on the floor. Bring one hand over the other and rest your forehead on the hands as you press the tops of the feet on the floor. Here, just give momentum to your hips by moving them from side to side, letting them do their own thing. So you start the momentum and then they move on their own. You might feel a very nice release on the low back and sacrum. And we stop the movement, find stillness. Let's press the forearms in front of you. Measure the distance in between the elbows. Should be forearm distance. Glide the elbows towards the rib cage as you press the tops of the feet and come into a Sphinx pose. Try not to compress the low back, so keep lifting through the chest as you push the hips down, creating space in between the vertebrae, specifically the lumbar spine. Use the breath of the inhale to lift the chest higher, and use the exhale to push the hips and the hip bones, frontal hip bones down. And then relax the head, look at your belly, press into the tops of the feet, and push the hips off the floor just for 1 second, one breath, and drop it back. So it's like a cat-cow movement. First lifting chin, neck, chest, and rib cage, pushing the tops of the feet and the hips down. Also use the strength of the fingers and hand And then exhale, chin to chest. Push into the forearms as you arch the upper back and push the hips higher up and lower down. Bring all the chest down. Press the reverse of your palms, reaching with the arms back into the hips, and lift into Savasana, locust pose. Keep the toes together as you roll the shoulders back. Tighten the leg muscles and internally rotate through the quads. Exhale, lower. We're going to do that 3 times in a row. Try to use your breath as you lift. Inhale, reach back, push into the reverse of the palms. Roll the shoulders back. Use your core to not compress your low back. Exhale. Second time, inhale. Exhale. One last time, inhale. And exhale down. Slide your hands underneath the shoulders. Make sure you spread the fingers wide apart. Roll the shoulders back so that the elbows point towards the rib cage. And from here, push yourself back into a child's pose. For this child's pose, bring the hands back towards your heels, reverse of the palms, and let the arms melt down so you'll feel a stretch coming into the scapula. A natural stretch. It's not force, it's just done by gravity. You feel the skin in your upper back stretching. And again, breathe into the back of the rib cage. Take hold of the heels here with the fingers pointing down, and we're going to roll into the circumference of the stake of the head. So you want to come into the crown of the head without releasing the heels and stretching the back. And roll back down. Use your inhale as you lift, and your exhale as you come down. Inhale as you lift, and exhale as you come down. Last time, inhale. Keep the arms straight. Even try to tuck in your pelvis a little bit more to pinpoint the low back, and exhale down. Knees are still apart, hip width distance. Come into seated and come into kneeling completely. From this kneeling pose, you're going to enter camel pose, but do your own version. So if you have any lumbar spine injury or pain, do not go to the full expression of camel pose. Just stay holding the low back with your thumbs and the hands cupped into the hip bones. Roll the shoulders back and tilt the weight forward as you reach with the crown of the head back. But do not compress the low back. Stay where it doesn't pinch. If you want to explore a little deeper, push the hips forward. Use the core to keep the spine safe and relax the head back. We're going to all stay in this first version. And then exhale, come back. The head's the last thing to come up. Now you can repeat this pose, or you can go into full camel. Rotate the shoulders back, tilt the weight forward from the hips, relax back. And if you want to go to full camel, take the tops of the feet with the fingers pointing back, pointing down into the sole of the foot, Roll the shoulders in to give freedom to your neck and push the hips forward. To come up, come first with the hips, then the chest, then the head. And again, find a child's pose for a couple of breaths. This child's pose, do at your own modification. If you want to bring the arms forward, if you want to bring them back, or even if you want to bring them to the sides at the height of the shoulders, take whatever pose is desired by your body right now. Cup the hands underneath the shoulders, lift yourself up into seated. Keep the heels underneath the hips. Inhale, rise the hands up. And exhale, gently twist the right hand into the left knee. Left hand reaches back. As you do this, keep lifting through the crown of the head and rotating towards the left shoulder. Use your right hand to push against the left knee and open the chest. Even if you're doing this, do not compress the low back. Do not arch the low back. Keep lifted. Return to center. Reach the hands up. Lengthen. Think about the space in between the rib cage closing up. And exhale, twist. Left hand to the right knee. Right hand cups behind you. Inhale first, lift up to the head, and then exhale, gaze over your right shoulder. Use the left hand as leverage to push into the knee. Inhale, come back. Point the heart to the center. Spread the arms out to the sides. And with the exhale, the right elbow is going to come on top of the left into eagle arms. If you do not reach this interlace of the arms, you can press both forearms and palms against each other. But do try to keep the elbows at the height of the shoulders. What we're going to do is we're going to push the shoulders and the elbows away from each other. So the elbows want to reach forward in space, allowing the spine to do a soft arch and length. Inhale, open up. Exhale, change. We'll do that on each side one more time. Inhale, open up. Exhale, change. Inhale, open up. And exhale, left side. Reach the hands up. And relax the hands, shaking the arms out. Come forward and cross one heel under the other as you find your way into laying down. So you lay down, flex the feet, take the outside of your feet and push the knees towards your chest. This is going to help you connect the low back and mid back to the mat or the floor. And then press the bottoms of the feet together. With your hands, interlace the fingers outside the outer edge of both feet as you open the knees out and push into the sacrum as you bring your heels close to you. And straighten the legs in front of you. Come into Savasana. If there's any other soft stretches you want to do, go right ahead. So take your Savasana, the palms of the hands face up. And for this Savasana, we're just going to focus on how the breath enters and exits. Paying full attention on how that inhale comes in, travels down the respiratory system and oxygenates all of your blood and tissues and muscles. And think of every exhale as the release of what your body does not longer need. You might feel some tingling sensations in your spine from the movement. Those are energetic points of awakening. Your body melts more into the surface that you're laying on with every exhale. Begin to wake up by moving the toes and inhaling, reaching overhead with your arms. Point the toes forward. Exhale, bring the knees to the chest. And roll over to whichever side you wish. Stay there for a moment, holding yourself in fetal pose. And then begin to sit up. Enjoyed this soft flow for back pain. Do this flow wherever you're feeling tension in your spine. Like we said at the beginning of practice, back pain doesn't just come from a bad posture, it can also come from emotional stress. So if you're having a hard time emotionally, or you're stressed because of work, or whatever is going on in your life, you can do this flow to try to do a little bit of release through the body to then invite the emotions to release as well. Thank you for joining me. Have a beautiful